Japan, do we need to talk? This is Ashley with Watch Mojo, and today we're going to be counting down our picks for the top 10 weirdest things to ever get turned into anime.
宇宙のすべてを破壊してやる。私についてこれるかしら。
しまった。宇宙空間から地球にとどめを刺すつもりだよ。
For this list, we'll be looking at the series based on Western properties that are just confounding to behold. Who was asking for these to get the Japanimation treatment? As always, you can catch me on Twitter at AshJBo, so head over there, give me a follow, let me know which anime list you want to see next. Number 10, Lilo and Stitch. Stitch.
Where are you?
Akata, Tabujibu!
Okay, in some backwards way, we can see this working. The original Disney flick had already been turned into a dozen TV spin-offs, so why not let young Japanese audiences share in the magic of the blue fluffy alien spreading the word of aloha? With all 626 experiments in tow, Stitch's antics could lend themselves to some Doraemon-esque harmless fun.
Any girlfriend of Stitch is considered Icharibachote.
Cousins!
We're so happy to have you.
There was, however, one glaring issue. The plot involved Stitch teaming up with a new girl, on account that Lilo grew up, had a kid, and had no time for a former bestie. I'm sorry, what?
It makes my one eye well up!
Number 9. Les Miserables. Les Miserables, Shoujo Quartet.
新入りのファンティーヌよ。面倒見てあげてください。
Apparently, if it's good enough for Broadway, it's good enough for anime. While this sounds like it could be a disaster, the final product isn't actually all that terrible.
そのジャンバルちゃんって男は今どうしてるの?
Oh sure, there are no sweeping musicals, and the pain that the likes of Quartet and Fontaine suffer is monumentally dialed down, but it's still a solid adaptation that doesn't feel like a parody, but more like an earnest effort to introduce the bulk of the iconic story to Japanese audiences. I mean, they put out 52 episodes. They really went the extra mile. Number 8, Supernatural. Supernatural, the animation.
Tell us, what did you see?
Perhaps the creators thought with the combined might of Supernatural's fanbase, plus that of otaku fangirls, they would be unstoppable. It just seems like a strange combination when you think about it, and while they can get away with a bit more in the gore department, there really isn't anything new here if you're a loyal watcher of the show.
Come on, give me a spark!
Newcomers aren't going to find anything especially appealing about it, while the only solace hardcore Winchester followers are gonna get is that they got the boys to reprise their roles.
It's quite possible that the late Abigail Sullivan was treated with formalin.
Number 7, The Jungle Book. Jungle Book, Shonen Mowgli.
Hooray! 2 birds with 1 shot!
Geez, Japan really was on a roll when it came to adapting these classic Western tales into bizarre, yet fundamentally decent anime. Rudyard Kipling's literary genius certainly has seen its fair share of adaptations, some whimsical, some dark, and while some liberties were taken, this extensive series does its darndest to fully encapsulate the various beasts and iconic characters found within the original text.
I would be more than happy to give him my recommendation.
It's certainly a niche little project, and the quality of the animation isn't the best, but shockingly enough, it's another project that more or less does justice to Mowgli.
Now listen, Mowgli. The first rule in the law of the jungle is the survival of the fittest.
Number 6, Poirot and Miss Marple. Agatha Christie's great detectives Poirot and Marple. Apparently, the creators just couldn't stand the idea of 2 of the greatest fictional detectives of all time not crossing paths, so they decided to correct it with an anime that sees a young, ambitious girl and her pet duck trained to become a great detective under the guidance of Poirot and Marple.
わかりました。それでは、スタート。
Can you see where this is going? In what essentially becomes Persona 4 the Animation Classic Literature Edition, the fresh-faced Mabel is shoehorned into Agatha Christie's greatest works, while the titular icons are relegated to more background roles. It's not insulting by any means, but a tad underwhelming.
大丈夫です。他に重要な証拠が見つかりましたから。
Number 5. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Mutant Turtles Superman Legend.
Hello! Fujiyama, geisha, tempura no kuni, Nippon!
Haven't the Turtles been through enough already? In what feels like the animated successor to that one time they teamed up with the Power Rangers, this mercifully short set of OVAs sees them gain the ability to further mutate into buff Super Turtles that look like they're out of some questionable doujin, who can then combine their powers to create a giant winged mecha angel. Somehow. Seriously, between this and Hollywood, maybe these guys would be better off staying in the sewer. Things clearly aren't going in their favor as of late. Number 4. Anne of Green Gables. Akage no Anne.
Why are the roads on the island so red, Mrs. Spencer?
How on earth should I know, Anne?
Given its status as one of the greatest children's books ever penned, it was really only a matter of time before the tale of the orphan Anne and her new life in the Cuthbert household was adapted. The result? Shockingly good across the board.
Up there in the tree, I would also have been safe from the wolves.
The entirety of the novel is adapted across 50 episodes, displaying in vivid detail Anne's journey from imaginative 11-year-old all the way to a young woman, and with all the troubles that come with it. It's staggeringly faithful to Lucy Maud Montgomery's timeless work, so much so that we're wholeheartedly recommending this one.
I don't mind, I like your chatter.
Oh, really?
Number 3. Highlander. Highlander, The Search for Vengeance. I mean, at least it's better than Highlander 2. Set in a dismal future where New York is submerged, the immortal Colin McLeod wanders the ruined land in search of his one true nemesis, seeking revenge for the murder of his beloved centuries prior. While it seems like a weird combination, the bloody action lends itself well to such classic anime tropes as a dystopian future filled with mecha, absurd sword fights, and half-naked busty anime ladies. By itself, it's actually a lot of fun. Maybe the franchise wouldn't have such a sordid reputation if this was the only sequel in its canon.
But you'd have to be crazy to try it. Show me.
Number 2. The Powerpuff Girls. Powerpuff Girls Z.
Something's not right here.
Cartoon Network isn't a stranger to anime, but this is something else entirely. It's essentially a retelling of the beloved cartoon. A mistake involving Chemical X accidentally creates the uber-powerful, super-cute trio of Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup, who together protect the citizens of Townsville. Wait, sorry, that's wrong.
What must have been fate that brought the three of us together? Got a perfect team!
We mean a mochi cake falls into the mixture, creates Chemical Z, which in turn unleashes the trio of Momoko, Miyako, and Kaoru, who gain the power to transform into superheroes, a la Magical Girl transformation sequences. It's a peculiar take, that's for sure. Guess we should be thankful they didn't give them the panty and stocking treatment. Oh boy.
Hand it over!
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. The Diary of Anne Frank. Anne no Nikki.
Why don't we have an expert solve it? Miss Frank?
That's right, they went there. Seems studios back in the day were all too eager to adapt stories involving brave figures named Anne. Only this one comes with substantially more baggage. Can we call this a terrible adaptation? No, not particularly.
I thought you might like this autumn leaf as a present.
Madhouse's animation lends itself well enough, and the film does put its best foot forward when telling the story of Anne's time in the attic, her various relationships, and her ultimate fate. There are a few pitfalls here and there with the pacing and missing content, but at the very least it handles such a painful and important matter with dignity.
Calm down, Anne. Calm down. It was a nightmare. It's all right now.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from Watch Mojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.